I need to make sure that is my 200-week moving average at 499.21, yes or no? And if not, we can always check it on another chart.
I'm showing 499.21.
Okay, then I must be correct. Thank you very, very much, Gibson. And on this one here, looks like the 200 is 499.21 on here. So we have it right. And it looks like the Dow here goes back to 1970 over here. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. And these were long-term bulls, but they failed miserably. Because you're right back here.
21.
Okay, look at here. On the weekly chart, I'm going to compare that. And I want you to notice that the Dow is struggling at its 200-week moving average. I would also like to point out to my MMTs that the 200-month on the Dow is at the 40-month moving average down over here at where the 2010 lows are. I'd like to show Google on a monthly chart very quickly relative to what you just were looking at. You'll see a lot of resemblances here. And one of the things about Google is if you take a look at its monthly highs, that's to the wick, you know, but the body of this reversal down here to this major support level right now. And on a monthly chart, that's the 50-month moving average and the 40-month kind of holding it up. How about that? Kind of like the Dow on the lower one. But here, you got a weekly moving average on Google, and it looks just like the Dow weekly chart. They're right here at their 200-week moving averages. And I would like to make clear to MMTs that today is day 3 of the week. And when we hit that bottom, we recovered this 499.21 weekly moving average. And we are about $6. Well, we're $6 above that. So we found a lot of support down here, just as we did over here in the last quarterly earnings. They report earnings next week. And it's very common that Google runs up. And we could run back to 525 easily going into the earnings, but then, you know, Google would have a problem during that time, possibly, and if it did, then it would get back down around that 440, 460 handle. But nonetheless, we are recovering at the weekly. And if you take a look at the NASDAQ 100 weekly, you're going to see the same thing, because Google is, once again, a major player in the NASDAQ 100, as it is and lots of different indexes. It's a major company, and we're up above that area. That means that short-term bull rally is working. That means that all the short sellers had to buy to cover. Once it came up through the 200-week, people that were short, it was no longer working for them. So you moved off the low of 480 right here. That's a $25 move off the bottoms. What a nice volatility. Reminds me of 1999 almost. But that's where that support level. So when you buy the pullback, Tina, you know where that 200-week is. Okay? And let us not forget that Google has been in a weekly sell signal for a period of time. Here it is. That's this blue number. And it's minus 10. So it's getting worse. Even though that we are moving up here, the count over there, and it's a public standard technical analysis. It's not how we make our decisions, but I'm letting you know what the general public perception is going to be.
And new highs on the indexes and Apple.
In the bigger arena. Yes, I'm doing a very special one right here at 96 handles. This is called the upside leverage. That's why it was time to get net long off that bottom. And you have to have a second day follow through to verify it. And we have it. It's here. It's not real big hardcore, but it's here in the tape because everybody believes that good bank, bad bank is going to work. So let's bid them up in anticipation. The bear got squeezed. You're above the 200 week. That's the conclusion on Google, printing at 506. The high was 507.80. Pull back at $3 where I told Tina it would for a bid pop. And that meant that the $500 call over here that got down to 225 hit a high of 1220. That's on that call side when this was down at 480. But that's because the volatility is running at a very high rate, and you got to make market maker adjustments at right time. Remember, they ran them down, but they ran them up.
Apple's doing a repeat.
So we have a very strong market. It's 11:57. We're going to be going into the last hour of the trade. And the relationship was watching that Google and that Dow chart. Google was at its 200-week moving average, and it held.